When a woman named Elyra wakes up in a hospital with no memory of how she got there, she's told something that shatters her reality. She's been missing for a decade. As she tries to piece together her past, strange inconsistencies, mysterious visitors, and haunting visions lead her to suspect that the truth is far more sinister than anyone is letting on. What happened to her? Why does no one seem to want her to remember? The final revelation is something no one saw coming. Before we jump into this incredible story, drop a comment, let us know where you're watching from. And if you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe for more. The first thing she noticed was the hum, low, steady, unnatural. Then came the sharp scent of antiseptic and the dim, bluish-white light piercing through her closed eyelids. Her fingers twitched. Her throat burned. When Elyra Venn finally opened her eyes, she didn't recognize the ceiling, the room, or the strange apparatus gently pulsing next to her bed. A nurse with tightly coiled hair and unreadable eyes gasped and rushed out without saying a word. Within seconds, a tall, somber doctor entered with a clipboard clutched tightly in his hands. His name tag read Dr. Harvin. He cleared his throat. "Miss Venn." "Elyra, you've just woken up from a prolonged coma." Elyra's heart thudded. Her lips cracked as she whispered, "How long?" The doctor paused. "You've been missing for 10 years. Every sound in the room was swallowed by the silence that followed. 10 years. Elyra's last memory was stepping out of her apartment in her rust-colored coat, heading to the florist for her sister's wedding bouquet. After that, nothing. No flashes. No dreams. Nothing but black. And now, the world she knew was gone. Dr. Harvin's words echoed inside her like thunder in a canyon. Elyra clutched the thin hospital blanket, feeling like she was clinging to the edge of reality itself. "Missing?" she asked again, voice trembling. "How can I be missing if I've been here?" The doctor hesitated. "You weren't here. You were found last week. In an abandoned greenhouse outside of Varnhill." Varnhill. That name lit up something faint inside her, a bitter taste, a flash of glass, and the sound of shattering. "You were dehydrated, disoriented, but alive," Harvin added, glancing down at his notes. "There are scars, old surgical ones, but there's no record of any procedures. And well, your medical history was wiped clean." Elyra tried to sit up, pain blooming in her ribs. "My family, where's my sister? Where's Neve?" Dr. Harvin grimaced. "Your sister, she declared you dead 6 years ago." Elyra blinked. "Dead? Why?" she choked. "Because," he said softly, "everyone gave up hope. You just vanished." Elyra stared at her pale hands. She felt like a ghost in someone else's body. She didn't just need to recover, she needed to remember. But the question was, what had been so awful that her mind refused to let it surface? Days passed. Elyra's room remained eerily quiet, despite the occasional nurse murmuring outside her door. No visitors. No cards. Only the occasional check-in by Dr. Harvin and a strange older woman named Morel, assigned as her trauma counselor. Morel spoke in soothing tones, but Elyra noticed her eyes often drifted to the camera in the corner of the room. "Elyra," Morel said during one session, "sometimes the mind suppresses trauma to protect itself. What's hidden may be difficult." Elyra nodded, but she couldn't shake the feeling she was being watched, not just observed, but studied. The dreams began that night. In them, she was strapped to a metal chair, bathed in harsh yellow light. Voices argued in the shadows. A man whispered her name again and again, like a song turned sinister. She'd wake up screaming, heart racing, fingernails digging into her palms. Every time, the nurses rushed in with sedatives. One night, she refused them. She stayed awake and tried something she hadn't done since she woke. She asked to see herself in a mirror. They hesitated, then brought a small hand mirror. What she saw made her gasp. Her face was hers, but thinner, older, and with a long scar beneath her jawline she'd never seen before. Something wasn't right. That night, Elyra pulled off the heart monitor and crept toward the room's only window. The latch was bolted, and beyond it, she saw no familiar skyline, only trees. Dark, endless woods. This wasn't the city hospital she expected. The next morning, she asked to see her medical file. Denied. She asked for her sister's contact. Denied. "For your safety," they said. That was the moment she knew. She was a prisoner in a place pretending to heal her. The tension in her gut grew each day, until a break in routine revealed something chilling. During her hallway therapy walk, Elyra spotted a room left ajar. Inside, a monitor screen frozen on an image, her lying unconscious, wires embedded in her skin, surrounded by masked figures. Her breath caught. Footsteps. She slipped away before anyone noticed. That night, a slip of paper was slid under her door. You don't belong here. Room 237, midnight. Come alone. Her hands shook as she held the note. Who sent it? Was it a trap? Still, she knew one thing for certain. She couldn't spend another night in ignorance. She would go, even if the truth destroyed her. At midnight, Elyra crept out, barefoot and silent. Her heart hammered like a drum as she followed the dim corridor to room 237. The door creaked open to reveal a man with salt and pepper hair and anxious eyes. Elyra, he asked. Do you remember me? She didn't. I'm Kalen. I worked with your sister. I tried to find you. He handed her a worn folder, trembling. They told us you died. But I kept looking. This place, it's not what it claims. It's a cover for Project Silhouette. Elyra opened the file. Inside were pictures, blurry photos of her in different locations across the years. All grainy, all distant. They were moving you, he said. Hiding you. Testing something. She flipped to the final page, a hospital record with the name Subject EV Memory Partition Procedure, September 14, 24. Her stomach turned. They experimented on me? Kalen nodded grimly. Wiped parts of your memory. Programmed others. You were part of something called the Echo Trial. Elyra's knees buckled. Why? Why me? Kalen hesitated. Because you volunteered. You believed in it. You were the first. You helped design it. Elyra stared at him, horrified. No, that can't be true. But deep down, a voice inside whispered, yes. Kalen led her down a hidden stairwell to a cold basement. There, in flickering light, he showed her video footage, dated 10 years ago. In it, Elyra stood before a panel of scientists. She looked determined, resolute. We have the power to protect humanity from trauma, her video self said. To rewrite memory, to isolate pain. I'll go first. Elyra watched, frozen, as she entered a chamber, lay down, and nodded to begin. The machine hummed. Lights flashed. The feed cut out. Kalen pressed pause. After that, something changed. You became unstable. You kept reliving something, a loss. But the tech couldn't erase it fully. You vanished before we could stop you. Elyra clutched her head. Flashes, running through snow, a hand reaching for hers, screaming. She collapsed. There's more, Kalen said. You weren't the only one. Others volunteered. But they didn't survive. You're the last one left. Elyra shook her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. She had tried to heal the world, but instead she became its ghost. We have to leave, she whispered. Now. But as they turned to go, a door slammed shut above. The intercom crackled. Elyra Venn, please return to your room. They had been watching all along. The walls began to pulse with red emergency lights. Kalen yanked her into a service tunnel, guiding her through a maze of underground passages. There's an exit near the east wing, he said, breathless. As they ran, Elyra's memories flickered, like puzzle pieces falling into place. The day she volunteered, the test, the glitch, and something else. A boy she had loved, grieving him, begging to forget. That was the trauma. His name was Run, and the project hadn't started to erase general trauma. It began with her, with Ren's death. Her grief had been so consuming, she'd risked everything to forget it. Elyra stumbled. It was never about saving others. I did this to save myself. Kalen looked at her with a softness that cut through the chaos. And now you can choose, run, or reveal it all. They reached the exit, metal door sealed tight. He entered a code. The lock clicked. Suddenly, armed guards rounded the corner. Kalen stepped in front of her. Go. Finish what you started. Elyra turned, hand on the door. The air filled with shouts and gunfire. She slipped through into the cold night. Alone again, but awake. 1 month later, the video leaked. Elyra's own footage, the documents, the names. Project Silhouette was exposed. Protests erupted. Investigations launched. But Elyra didn't surface. Not right away. She watched from afar as the world unraveled the truth she helped bury. In time, she recorded a message, face hidden in shadow. I was Elyra Venn. I wanted to forget pain. I wanted to help others do the same. But some pain must be remembered. Because it's what makes us human. Her voice cracked. We don't need perfect minds, we need honest hearts. The message went viral. People debated, mourned, reflected. And in a quiet village far from the chaos, Elyra walked through a garden filled with Ren's favorite flowers. She placed a photo on the ground, her and Run smiling, before everything changed. She whispered, I remember you now. As she stood, a girl approached. young, bright-eyed. Are you the lady from the video? Elyra smiled faintly. I was. The girl handed her a notebook. Then you should tell more stories. Elyra looked down. The first page read, Truth begins where memory ends. She nodded. The world was watching. And this time, she would not vanish. She would speak. Elyra spent her days in quiet reflection, but her story ignited something much larger than herself. Survivors of other forgotten programs began coming forward. Whispers of similar experiments, mind suppression trials, and memory manipulations bubbled to the surface. A global reckoning followed. In the shadows of courtrooms and Senate hearings, the name Elyra Venn became both a warning and a symbol. For some, she was a traitor to science. For others, a savior who cracked open the illusion of control. But to those who had been silenced, she was a mirror, their pain finally acknowledged, their voices finally heard. Despite the chaos, Elyra found peace in small things: sunlight through leaves, the sound of rain on her window, and the journal she now kept religiously, not to erase, but to remember. She no longer feared the dark. In it, she had found herself. And as the world kept spinning, messy, unhealed, and beautifully imperfect, Elyra began to speak again. She gave lectures, wrote letters, and guided others through the fragile terrain of memory. The experiment meant to make her forget had, in the end, taught her to feel. In a final entry to her journal, she wrote, "We are not defined by what we forget, but by what we choose to carry forward." She paused, then signed her name, not as a subject, but as a survivor. Elyra Venn. Elyra's story is a haunting reminder of how easily lives can be rewritten, and how powerful it is to reclaim your truth. If her journey moved you, challenged you, or made you see the world a little differently, don't let it end here. Share this story with someone who needs to remember they are not alone, that healing is possible, and that the past, no matter how lost, can still be found. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more unforgettable stories that stay with you long.